Hey guys, it's History Behind the Warrior and welcome back to yet another Mortal Kombat 11 video. Now in today's history of breakdown and analysis, with the spectacular reveal of Mortal Kombat's aftermath, we will be talking about the God of Wind and a protector of Earthrealm, Fujin. Now Fujin is a rather peculiar character in the Mortal Kombat universe. Unlike Raiden or even a majority of other characters in the series, Fujin made his first in-game debut in Mortal Kombat Mythology SubZero, a spin-off game that served as a prequel to Mortal Kombat 4. This game circulates around the first SubZero, Bi-Han, as he travels across the realms, and during this quest, Fujin would make his first ever appearance, serving as a boss within the game. Now due to Fujin's rather late appearance in the franchise, Fujin's background and whereabouts before Mythologies are somewhat left unknown, but since he is a real god and hasn't appeared in any of the other games before this, it is believed that he was created during the birth of the realm. So after the Elder Gods had defeated the One Being and his body was forged into the fabrics of reality, the Elder Gods would want each realm to have a protector, someone that would oversee it and guide it in the correct direction. And from what you can of course tell, this title and mantle would fall into the hands of Raiden. But with the inclusion of Fujin in the canon, it is now also believed that he may have come into creation at a similar time, working as a somewhat assistant and consultant to Raiden. But it wasn't exactly all sunshine and rainbow. You see, not long after the realms before, the elder god known as Shinnok was disgusted by the life that was created from the One Being's body, and thus took on the job of wanting to annihilate them all. So as you would imagine, this meant that he would clash with his fellow elder gods, including the likes of one Raiden and possibly Fujin. Shinnok was defeated by his brothers and sisters, and was imprisoned within the Netherrealm as punishment. Now in order to prevent Shinnok's release, Raiden would send Shinnok's amulet to the Temple of Elements. It was located in the Himalayas of Nepal, and it was guarded by 4 different elemental guardians, with one of them of course being Fujin. So with Fujin being stationed here, this brings us up to his first in-game appearance in Mortal Kombat Mythology's SubZero. Now Fujin has an extremely small role in this game. One of 4 different elemental guardians, given the mission to safeguard Shinnok's amulet, he effectively serves as a boss that is attempting to stop a rather clueless Bi-Han from unleashing the fallen Elder God. But despite his manipulation of the skies, he accidentally catches himself in his own tornado and apparently does kill himself. But this isn't the last time we do see Fujin, as we learn that the injuries that he sustained from the end of Mythologies wouldn't kill him. Instead, it would put him out of commission, explaining his absence from Mortal Kombat 1 to 3. Mortal Kombat 4. Now after recovering from his wounds in Mythology, Fujin decided to remain in the heaven, being a somewhat gatekeeper and guardian of the Elder Gods. And for the most part, things were rather peaceful, especially seeing as how Earthrealm had pushed back against Outworld and Liu Kang was able to defeat Shao Kahn. This really did help put Fujin's mind at rest, but the battle wasn't exactly over just yet. You see, behind the scene, whilst Outworld was engaging with Earthrealm, the sorcerer Quan Chi and the fallen Elder God Shinnok had been plotting a huge invasion of their own, wanting to attack, destroy and conquer every single realm. So not even the Elder Gods were safe. So after Shao was defeated, Shinnok would spring his attack, seeing the realms ripe for the picking. So he would unleash his army of darkness in heaven, with Fujin being one of the defenders. And although he was able to put up a valiant effort, the numbers game proved to be far too much, and he fell from the heavens back to the mortal plane. Now when Fujin comes to the realization of how things have truly gotten out of hand, he bands with Raiden and his Earthrealm defenders, so that together they may stand a chance of stopping Shinnok. Now although Shinnok did have the numbers game, they were able to push through his forces, and Liu Kang was strong enough to defeat the fallen Elder God, trapping him in the Netherrealm once more. Now upon Shinnok's defeat, Fujin and Raiden were called upon by the Elder Gods. You see, the Elder Gods were pleased with Raiden's success in defeating the fallen Elder God and sealing him in the Netherrealm once more. So because of this, Raiden was rewarded with Elder God status, ascending to their level, but this would mean that Earthrealm would be absent of a protector, and this is where Fujin steps in. No longer needed by Raiden, Fujin could accept his role and position as protector of Earthrealm, something that he promised he would not fail in. But despite him saying this, Earthrealm would not be safe for very long. Now there is a big gap between the events of Mortal Kombat 4 and Armageddon, but during this time Fujin does act as Earthrealm's protector for a few years, later losing his role due to the rise of the Deadly Alliance. You see, when Shang Tsung and Quan Chi banded together and of course killed Liu Kang and Shao Kahn, Raiden resigned from his role as Elder God in order to play more of an active role against the 2 sorcerers. It is unknown what happens to Fujin around this point, but he does seemingly disappear disappear. We do not know the exact whereabouts of what happens to him, but upon Raiden becoming the protector of Earthrealm once more, it could be believed that Fujin went back to the astral plane, guarding Heaven's gates. From here, things quickly do fall apart. Earthrealm's defenders are killed, Raiden dies and comes back in a corrupted form, and the realms are once again in disarray. Luckily, due to one man by the name of Shigenko, the Dragon King would be defeated, but as always, the battle was never truly over, which brings us to Fujin's return in Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Upon returning to the mortal plane, he would sadly learn that not only was Raiden's personality altered, but he had taken on a very ruthless personality, one that did rival that of Shao Kahn. As you see between the events of Deception to Armageddon, Raiden felt like his protection of Earthrealm was underappreciated, and thus reanimated even the dead corpse of Liu Kang to somewhat force his will across the realm, even if it meant killing his own inhabitants. And when Fujin saw how lost Raiden truly was, he knew he needed help in order to either set him straight or put him down. But with Armageddon now set in motion, Fujin was working against time. Fujin would catch word from the blind swordsman Kenshi about two Edenian demigod brothers, that of course being Taven and Dagon. Now after learning that the sons of Argus were still alive, he would actively try to seek them out, as Fujin was in fact a good friend of the family and was shocked when they suddenly disappeared. Now whilst tracking them down, Fujin learned of their apparent quest, being the children of destiny, that would ultimately determine the fate of Armageddon. Fujin wished to interfere to stop this quest, as he knew that it would tear the family apart. But due to Taven being somewhat oblivious to this, wanting to succeed on his family's mission, he would fight Fujin, and the god of Wind was defeated. From this point onwards, Fujin doesn't make another appearance in the conquest mode, but does make his final somewhat appearance during the Battle of Armageddon, where the forces of light and darkness are battling each other, and the end times has finally come. Now of course, since this is the Battle of Armageddon, pretty much everyone does die, as across the battlefield you can see many dead bodies. From here, Shao Kahn is able to absorb the power of Blade and transcend to a higher plane, one that more or less does make him the one being. Now in order to prevent this from happening, Raiden would send a message to his past self, hoping to restart the timeline and prevent these events from ever happening. So Mortal Kombat 9 serves as both a reboot and sequel to the series. Now Fujin doesn't actually appear in Mortal Kombat 9. His first canon reboot appearance is during Earthrealm's invasion in Mortal Kombat X. So this is not too long after Shao Kahn has been defeated by Raiden and the Emperor has been destroyed by the Elder God. Now during Shinnok's invasion, unlike the original timeline where Shinnok wanted to attack everything that existed, in this continuity he wishes to corrupt Earthrealm's life force, that being the Jinsei chamber. But lying in the very heart of it, he could corrupt it and gain nigh unlimited power. So with Fujin and Raiden being aware of this, the pair would team up together and guard the Sky Temple, fighting off legions of Netherrealm demons and Quan Chi's own revenant servant, made up of individuals like Striker, Cabal and Sindel. Now they do hold their own for a very long amount of time, but the number game does catch up to them, forcing them to retreat within the temple as they try their best to push back against Quan Chi and his forces. It's only until Shinnok turns up where things really go sideways, as both of them are blasted through concrete walls into the Jinsei chamber. But before Shinnok could corrupt it, he would be interrupted by Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade and Kenshi, and with some assistance from Johnny's Mediterranean heritage, he's able to tap into his green energy and use it like never before, allowing him to defeat the god and have him be imprisoned within his own amulet once more. Now from here, Raiden and Fujin travel out to see the Elder Gods as they wish for their input for what happens now to Shinnok. Now Fujin's next canon appearance does in fact take place after Shinnok's invasion and before Mortal Kombat X's main story gets going. And of course I am referencing the Mortal Kombat X comic book series, of which he can be found in the Sky Temple, assisting Raiden in finding the location of a demon in Earthrealm. You see, recently, inhabitants within Earthrealm have experienced multiple different massacres with a supernatural element to them, where they are tainted by blood magic from getting cut by a Kamidogu dagger. So Raiden believes that the only way of tracking down this demon is by cutting himself with the dagger. By doing so, he hopes that he can gain a mental link on the location of where the demon is and possibly stop it. However, after cutting himself with it, there was a rebound effect, injuring both gods. Now despite the painful revelation, Raiden did get the answers he was looking for, believing that Quan Chi may have a hand in this. Raiden has Fujin investigate the Netherrealm in order to keep eyes on Quan Chi, believing that he's the one responsible for tainting the Kamidogu daggers. Now after a lengthy amount of time, Fujin returns back to the Sky Temple and reports to Raiden that apparently Quan Chi has no hand in this. So Raiden Raiden comes to the conclusion that he must ultimately ask the special forces for assistance, but before going to see them, he wishes to enter the Jinsei chamber, but instead of being revitalized, he would be rejected by it, as the Jinsei can sense his corruption, and when Fujin goes to assist him, the Thunder God lashes out at him, blindsiding him and impale him on a wall. As you see, Raiden had also been corrupted by the Kamidogu dagger, and this was all a ploy put together by the Chaos Realmer Havoc, who wished to obtain Shinnok's amulet by tainting powerful individuals across the realms and use the former Outworld General Reiko as a conduit to summon it. So anyone that was cut by the dagger was in fact under his influence. Now when Fujin regained consciousness, he was found by one Takeda Takahashi, who was also aware of the plan that Havoc was putting together. After being assisted by the young man, Fujin decided to help him out. You see, he himself couldn't leave the Jinsei unguarded, but he could give Takeda the power he needed to battle Havoc and his slave, and hopefully have him defeat the Chaos Cleric. Now from here, Takeda, with some assistance from Koto's forces, as well as a recently revived Hanzo Hasashi, meaning that Fujin did play a bit of a part in Havoc's downfall. Now from this point onwards, Fujin is in fact completely absent for the rest of Mortal Kombat X's story. He's not seen of or heard from, and even in Mortal Kombat 11, he was only referenced to in character intro, where he was seemingly restrained and killed by Frost and Cetrion. But with the most recent trailer of Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath, we see that he is indeed alive, and will be a main player in Aftermath's story. As you see, after Liu Kang has defeated Kronika and has begun weaving the hourglass of time, he would be stopped by Shang Tsung, Nightwolf, and Fujin. As you see, during the climax of Mortal Kombat 11's story, when Liu Kang defeated Kronika, he took off her head and destroyed her crown, the item she needed in order to reforge history. So Shang Tsung proposes the idea that they send him, Fujin, and Nightwolf back in time in order to acquire said crown so the timeline can be restored. So the big question right now is that will Fujin be able to keep the sorcerer in line, or will he prove to be far more deceptive than even a god could imagine? Only time will tell, as Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath is only a few weeks away. So I will be covering Aftermath in a separate video post its release. You can consider it a part 2 to the history of Fujin, but this covers the entirety of Fujin's history up to now. So hopefully this gets you all up to date with what he's all about, because in a way Fujin does play second fiddle to Raiden and is one of those underrepresented characters that really does have the potential to fill in the shoes that Raiden has left open, especially seeing as he's now mortal. But again, we must wait and see. But yes guys, this sums up everything I did wish to say here. Now what are your thoughts on Fujin? Will you be playing him on release? And do you think he'll survive his team up with Shang Tsung? Please do comment down below, as I am interested to hear what you all have to say. But anyway guys, that sums up everything I did wish to say here. So before this video finishes up, let's try getting it to about 500 likes, and also don't forget to tick that bell, as it will keep you up to date with everything that's going on with the channel and everything we'll learn about Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath. So as always guys, please comment, like, subscribe, and share this video with everyone you know. Please take care, and I'll see you all next time.